Hello, adventurers! Welcome back to Footprints Across Lands, the channel where we take you on thrilling journeys to some of the most awe-inspiring places on Earth. Today, we're putting two iconic mountains, head-to-head Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa and Mount Fuji in Japan. These two legendary peaks attract thousands of climbers each year, offering unique challenges, breathtaking scenery, and a deep cultural experience. But if you're choosing between them, which one should you climb first? Should you go for the towering volcanic giant of Kilimanjaro, the highest peak in Africa, where you trek through multiple climate zones? Or should you take on Mount Fuji, the sacred symbol of Japan, where you can experience a breathtaking sunrise from the summit? Today, we'll compare difficulty, scenery, altitude, culture, costs, and more, helping you decide which mountain should be your next adventure. Let's begin. 1. Meet the mountains, Kilimanjaro and Fuji. Before we dive into the comparisons, let's take a closer look at both mountains. Mount Kilimanjaro, the roof of Africa. Height, 5,895 meters, 19,341 feet. Location, Tanzania, Africa. First ascent, 1889 by Hans Meyer and Ludwig Perchler. Climbing season, best from June to October and December to March. Famous for being the highest freestanding mountain in the world. Kilimanjaro is a volcanic giant, standing alone in the Tanzanian savanna. Unlike technical mountains like Everest or K2, Kilimanjaro is a trekking peak, meaning you don't need technical climbing experience. However, its high altitude makes it a serious challenge. Mount Fuji, Japan's sacred peak. Height, 3,776 meters, 12,000. Location, Honshu, Japan. First ascent, 663 AD. First recorded ascent by a monk. Climbing season, best from July to early September. Famous for being Japan's national symbol and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Fuji is Japan's most famous peak, known for its perfect conical shape and deep cultural significance. Unlike Kilimanjaro, Fuji is a shorter climb that many complete in a single day. But don't be fooled, still presents its own unique challenges. Now, let's compare them in detail. 2. Difficulty level. Which mountain is harder? Kilimanjaro, a true high-altitude challenge. Kilimanjaro is classified as a non-technical climb, meaning you don't need ropes or climbing gear. However, it is still one of the hardest trekking mountains in the world due to its extreme altitude. The trek takes 5 to 9 days, depending on the route you choose. The biggest challenge is altitude sickness. Many climbers struggle with the thin air near the summit. The summit push, starting from midnight, is a tough 6 to 8 hour climb in freezing temperatures. Fuji, short but steep. Fuji may be lower in elevation, but it's still physically demanding. Most climbers complete the ascent in 5 to 10 hours, making it much shorter than Kilimanjaro. The final section of the climb is steep and covered in loose volcanic rock, making footing tricky. While altitude sickness is less common, the fast ascent can still affect climbers. Winner, Kilimanjaro. If you're looking for the bigger challenge, Kilimanjaro is harder due to altitude, endurance, and the multi-day trek. 3. Scenery. Which mountain offers the best views? Kilimanjaro, a trek through 5 climate zones. One of Kilimanjaro's most unique features is that you hike through multiple ecosystems, including rainforest, lush jungles filled with wildlife, moorland, alien-like landscapes with giant plants, alpine desert, rocky, barren terrain, glacier zone, snow-covered summit with incredible ice formations. The view from the summit is one of the most spectacular on Earth. You stand above the clouds, looking out over Africa. Fuji, the perfect cone with a spectacular sunrise. Fuji's most famous moment is the sunrise from the summit, called Gori. Thousands of climbers time their hike, so they reach the top just as the sun rises over the clouds, painting the sky in brilliant shades of orange, pink, and gold. The climb itself, however, is mostly barren volcanic rock, with less variation in scenery than Kilimanjaro. Winner, Kilimanjaro. If you want a constantly changing dramatic landscape, Kilimanjaro wins. But if you dream of seeing Japan's most iconic sunrise, Fuji is an unforgettable experience. For cultural and spiritual experience, Kilimanjaro, a trek through Tanzanian culture. Kilimanjaro is not just a climb, it's an adventure into African culture. Along the way, you'll meet local Tanzanian guides and porters who sing traditional Swahili songs. Learn about the Chaga people, who live at the base of the mountain. Experience a true wilderness adventure, far from cities and crowds. Fuji, a sacred pilgrimage. Fuji has deep spiritual meaning in Japanese culture. For over 1,000 years, monks and pilgrims have climbed it as a sacred journey. Along the trail, you'll see Shinto shrines, torii gates, and prayer flags. Some climbers ring bells or pray before starting the ascent. The Japanese saying, "He who climbs Mount Fuji once is wise. He who climbs it twice is a fool," reflects its cultural importance. Winner, Fuji. If you want a spiritual, cultural experience, Fuji has a stronger historical and religious connection. 5. Cost. Which climb is more affordable? Kilimanjaro costs permit fees. $700, $1,000. Guides and porters required. $1,500, $4,000. Gear and flights. $500, $1,500. Total, $2,500, $6,000 plus. Fuji costs. Permit fees. Free small donation recommended. Transport from Tokyo, $50, $100. Food and gear, $100, $200. Total, $200, $500. Fuji. If you're on a budget, Fuji is significantly cheaper than Kilimanjaro. 6. Which mountain should you climb first? Choose Kilimanjaro. If you want a multi-day adventure with stunning landscapes, you are ready for high-altitude, trekking, and endurance challenges. You have a bigger budget and want a true expedition experience. Choose Fuji. You want a short but intense climb that can be done in 1 or 2 days? You're interested in Japanese culture and history? You're looking for a more affordable, accessible climb. Which one will you conquer first? Both Kilimanjaro and Fuji are incredible mountains, offering unique experiences. If you're a beginner or looking for a short spiritual climb, Fuji is a great starting point. But if you want to test yourself against a true high-altitude challenge, Kilimanjaro is the ultimate adventure. Which mountain would you climb first? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Footprints Across Lands for more exciting travel and adventure content. Until next time, keep climbing, keep exploring, and chase your next adventure.